Welcome back. This is the part two of managing contract. So we will be talking about the power of attorney. That's where we're going to be starting from. Power of attorney, the manager has the power to approve and permit any and all publicity and advertising in connection with the artist's professional career, meaning that everything that will happen when it comes to all these functions, the artist will have the power to say yes. So meaning because they are managing you, and they're the ones who are negotiating for you, looking out for clients for you, and meaning cooperate and they have the power to say yes in your absence. Okay, in your absence. And the manager will approve the use of the artist's name, photography, likeness, voice, sound effect, literacy, artistic and musical materials for advertising, publicity, promotion, and short-term personal appearance engagements. For your PR, your promotion, your marketing, your advertising, your manager will approve for your name to be utilized. Okay, you wanna get paid for that. It's not for free. Okay. The manager also has the power to request the third party with whom the contract has been constructed to provide services, e.g., contracts, agreements, and codes. Okay, so that your manager has the power to do that, to request for all of that, for to do contractual agreements for you and to code for you, because they will understand. Would say not all functions are charged the same way, so according to how the market is charging right now, they will have all that information and will do it on your behalf. The most important thing is transparency. They need to be transparent with you. For this is how much I'm charging and this is how I'm making. Remember that an artist can only make 25%, and which is what we will come to that at a later stage. They need to also they also have the power of attorney to advertise and publicize themselves as your manager and representative. So I can go around and say, I'm managing guidance, so I have the power to do that if I have signed a contract to be his manager. Okay. Artist obligation. You can have an agreement on this one, depending on if the manager really has budget or funds for this production to take place, or this recording to take place. So, meaning for the publicity costs, the promotion and exploitation of expenses, the traveling expenses, wardrobe expenses, and any expenses relating to the artist's career. Meaning that the wardrobe, I've mentioned before that you could get sponsorships, endorsements for your wardrobe. For instance, traveling expenses, you could get a car deal to do that for you. Have engine, BP, a filling station to provide, to sponsor for fuel as well. Promotions and publicity costs. So if the manager does not have funds for that, it means that you as an artist, you need to pay for them. Okay. And as well, for expenses, the traveling expenses, most of the time it will be a client saying that I can pay for expenses, obviously when they book you for your events. However, if you go for PR stuff, marketing, where they're going to be interviewing you, radio interviews and all that, is not from the manager's pocket. Okay, that should be clear. Unless you have an agreement that you are going to spend your money and you're going to get your return when I start making money. You can have that agreement that you, instead of 25%, maybe, you can have 30% because we started both at no, with no budget at all. So you are basically building this thing together, With finances, no advances, no advance financial to need to be given to an artist, because advances because most artists will actually request for an advance, not for rent, not for serious matters, but mostly as for going out and drinking and buying new clothes just to flash around. So I advise managers to be strict with giving advances, unless, if granted, it will be a loan, and then you deduct from the next payment. Sorry, my nose is itching. With expenses, managers shall provide a statement of any expenses incurred with supporting documentation, and the management shall deduct that amount from artists requested 10 days prior by an artist requested by an artist 10 days prior by your chartered accountant, right? So meaning that with all the expenses, you as an artist, you have a right to say to the manager that give me a documentation of all the expenses that have incurred, right? And they need to give that to you, so that even when they deduct that money from your payment, you know that it's exactly what you owe, or what is due to the manager. Manager's compensation. The manager needs to get 25% unless you agree on 30% if you started with no capital and they're spending from their own pocket. And the only way for them to get it back is by charging 35% going forward. Or you could make an agreement that when you start making money, you pay them back all the money, right, that they have used, and they have documents and receipts that this is how much I have spent. You pay them that back, and then they charge 25% for all your performances. Those are the two options. So the 25% is from the artist's gross income derived from activities, performances, appearances, whatever activity that you get involved in, and you get paid for it. All right. So endorsements and sponsorships as well. Remember that you get paid to promote any product. All right. So for endorsements, they can give you products and whatsoever, but please do remember that you will get paid for, if a client approaches you and say, this is what we need to do with you, they have to pay you for that. They endorse you with the material, they sponsor you with the material, but you talking about it out there, wearing it out there, you're doing PR for them. So just material is not enough. They need to pay you for sponsoring, for promoting their brand. The management company income resources shall be paid back by the artist for any PR expenditures once the artist starts making money. I've explained that already. Any agreements or deals, a management company shall be continually paid to management if the contract has expired, unless there's a payment agreement of settlement between the parties, which is the artist and the manager. All right, so for any deals or agreements, the management company, they acquired for an artist, right? The manager will continue to get that money for the deal they sealed for you as an artist, even if the contract is terminated. So if you go separate ways, but the brand, let's say Standard Bank, is still sponsoring you with whatsoever, or whatever brand you can think of, they will still get paid for getting that deal for you. So going separate ways does not mean that they will stop getting that money, as the deal they got for you, as the relationship he has with them for you, right? So it's only fair for the manager to continue getting that money in that regard. Okay. Management company shall not receive any payment if an artist made deals outside the arrangement after the contract has expired. That is clear. Or an artist has received in management's absence, right? So there's deals that you can make out there on your own, and the manager does not want to get involved in, right? So there must always be that open communication between you and your manager, and for them to have an option to say that, you know what, with this one, it can be just you, and I don't want that money. You'll be blessed to have such a manager. But any deals that you get after the contract has expired, that the manager or your former manager is not entitled to anything that you get after you have left. Where's my other earring? Okay. So with accounting, all payments will be paid straight to the artist's personal contract account for royalties and needle rights. An artist shall be paid directly as well, and not to the manager. I would like to encourage you as artists that you open an account, that you register yourself as a company. Reason being, the habit of spending will be there. So you need to separate yourself from business, because if you put them together and you treat them as one thing, you will always spend money unnecessarily. And remember that with your tax returns, then you will have to explain, oh, we spend it. But if you always have salary for yourself, then you don't have to explain anything to anyone. You don't have to say, I entertain my clients, so come among. Yeah, now you're lying. So you must have a business bank account where you pay yourself, all right, to your personal account. Okay. That is business minded. All right. So I'll stop here. And the next one I will talk about is conflict of interest and resolutions of dispute, termination of the contract, assignment, relationships of other parties, and the rest we'll do in the next episode. My God, it's just so much. Till then, toodles.